Hello? Hello? Whoa! Hello? Hello? All right. Let's go. Let's go. What's going on here? Get set up. Yo, what's up? What up, everyone? Make sure everything is good. Crap, come on. All right. Just don't get. crap. There you go. Let me see. Nope. Alright, we're good. Just wanted to make sure. Alright. Analysis. What's going on today? First of all, starting off. Let me start off before I forget. Make sure, what's the news today? Boy, something's wrong with this freaking camera. First of all, news. Let's see. Economic calendar. Today's Wednesday, so we have news. We had news at 9:15, 10:30, 2 o'clock. So, 10:30, not really. So no news you need to be really worried about. What the? My main. All right, no news. So. I don't know what's wrong with my camera, my other camera. I'm trying to figure out why it keeps shutting off. Alright, 15-minute chart. Quickly do the analysis and then appreciate the likes. Thank you. Let me just take this crap off from yesterday. Alright. So, 15-minute chart, how are we looking? Not bad. Are those pre-market lows? Let me see. Yeah, so that level, we're breaking VWAP, so if we can't hold this level right now, this resistance, support, we're going to the lows, which is pre-market lows, which is pretty interesting spot to take a long off of, especially look at the candle. What are you trading? Trading MNQ. It's the micro NQ futures. So, other than this pre-market low, honestly, I don't really see anything that's like. And then obviously pre-market high, but that's like, I guess I'll mark it out, and then we'll see what happens as time goes on. Maybe we get there. I don't know. Who knows? I'll mark it out, and then what else? Nothing. It's pretty much the only two areas for right now, unless something else kind of forms that's interesting. But as of now, all right, back to the 1-minute chart. Let's kind of zoom in, get a better look at what's going on. All right, so we're kind of hovering above the 200 right now, and we are holding VWAP. Man, I wish I can get VWAP on this chart. Sadly, I can't. I don't know why NinjaTrader. I think you have to buy it on NinjaTrader, which, that's kind of stupid, but But there are other charting platforms that give it for free. And I'm using Thinkorswim. So I'm using NinjaTrader to take trades off of. And then I'm using Thinkorswim to chart, kind of. I have a lot more, like, not a lot more, but some indicators on Thinkorswim that I... Sorry, I'm trying to figure out why... I have another camera that's being stupid. It's not working. I don't know why it's not turning on. Alright, so we're kind of struggling here. Well, let me see something real quick. Bruh. Four-hour chart and premium, 50% bullish discount. Alright, let's see the 4-hour chart. Let's see. Actually, I don't have the 4-hour chart on here. Dang it. 4-hour chart, I mean. Look at the 60-minute chart. I don't really look past 15-minute. Kind of don't even try. I mean, look at that. We get kind of rejected off this imbalance. I mean, honestly, I think we can. If we can't hold these highs or these this support right here, I mean, we're gonna go to pre-market lows. And in that case, I gotta switch. If we go to pre-market lows, I gotta switch to my other accounts. That's a trade that I take typically on my funded accounts that I like to take. Oh, Fibonacci. I never use never used the Fibonacci. I kind of I don't know if I'm considered like a scalper, which I mean, I never found the need. Here's the thing about indicators too, like you don't want to like overload yourself. You want to have your confluences and then, you know, kind of don't overload yourself with a bunch of... If it works for you, it works for you, but this low is we'll see what happens. I really like pre-market low. We're still kind of hovering. We're like broke right below VWAP, and now we're kind of pushing right above it. VWAP's always an area where it's like it's gonna kind of like it's gonna bounce around. It's always gonna have a bunch because it's a volume weighted average price. So price is very balanced at VWAP. So it's typically going to like bounce around a little bit at VWAP. Sorry, I'm trying to, I don't know what's going on with my camera. I gotta figure it out later or whatever. Nice. Freaking camera doesn't work. What if I open up? Oh no. Sorry, I'm gonna try to. Something with OBS then. It works. I don't know what the heck I did. Alright, we're kind of pushing down still. Bruh, stop. Give me, I don't care about your... Interesting. always something. Nothing ever runs smoothly. Can't have something just like work perfectly. Nah, it's gotta freaking. Ugh. All right, we're dropping. I mean, we're below view up at this point, so we're pretty bearish. Unless we can kind of get some kind of. Oh, there it is. My camera started working on my other. All right, we're getting close, kind of. Once we start getting closer and closer, I'm gonna switch to my other accounts. Right now, I'm on my I guess scalping accounts, my funded accounts. I mean my my other 4 accounts. All right. Also, these highs, a rejection off these highs would not be. Those are, as long as they're not all-time highs, which they're not. But these highs, see what happens. I mean, either way, right? Gotta stay patient. And see what. Right now, there's not really anything to kind of go off of. I mean, it's just having trouble here. It's like it's very indecisive what it wants to do. Does Ninja Trader have pivots? Let me see if they have pivot points. Oh, they do have pivots. Let me add the pivots, maybe. See what they look like. Pivots. Add. Apply. See if they're the same. Yeah, they are the same. So that kind of helps a little more. The only thing I don't have on this chart right now is my view up, which so that's a pivot right there that it has marked out. It's typically that's the only pivot. Alright, we're breaking through view up. Our bull's gonna start to step in. Nothing really still to kind of trade off of, man. Just trying to took out these lows right here. Just trying to make a move back up. I mean, I mean, it's kind of, this is not horrible, but the only issue with this low right here is we're going to push right into view up. I mean, I just don't like taking trades that push right into view up. Ideally, I would prefer this thing to drop. Oh, there's a pivot down here too? Yeah, there is. Okay. Ideally, my ideal setup right now would be for market to drop all the way down here. We have a pivot point right there. And then we have a low that I have marked out from that's pre-market low, and there's a pivot point right there. So, looks like that's what we want to do. All right, whoa, coming in hot. coming in hot. I'm coming in hot. Let's go. Let's go, NASDAQ. Keep going. Keep going. Let's get away from the view up. View up is right at these this candle high right here is view up, so let's try to kind of get away from view up, so when I do take a long also, I don't want to take a long right directly into view up. It's a higher rejection spot. This isn't a stock, this is NQ futures, well MNQ futures, but NASDAQ futures. All right, we're dropping pretty hard. We're getting the close. All right, hold on. Let me switch to my other accounts. K1. Oh crap! I didn't. What is it doing? Hold on, sorry guys. I'm trying to switch to my other account so I could take a trade on my funded accounts right now. I gotta like organize everything in my copy trader. All right, so PA1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10. All right. All right, let's see what happens. Bro, what the? Come on, just keep going down. Don't take out pre-market lows. That's what I want. Don't you stop here now. I already switched accounts. Don't you freaking stop. Appreciate the likes. Thank you. All right. We kind of want to take out pre-market lows now. I mean, if you switch to the 15-minute chart, right? What happened? If you look on the 15-minute chart, right? When market opened, or was it? This 930 candle right here, right? We kind of needed to hold this support level in order to continue going up, right? You see this massive support. Oh, sorry. Massive support right here. We kind of needed to hold that. We're failing. We failed to hold that. So now, right, markets probably want to go down to these lows right here to try to take out the pre-market lows before possibly showing any kind of sign of going back up. I mean, it could reverse. There's a couple of like internal lows right here that it could reverse off of, but I would rather wait for pre-market. And that gives us a little wiggle room from view up, because I don't want to, last thing I want to do, which view up is like right there. So last thing I want to do is take a long directly into view up, and then it reject off view up, and then I get stopped out. So it looks like it wants to go to pre-market lows. So this is kind of like a trade that I take on my funded accounts. When pre-market lows and pre-market highs get taken out, it typically happens once a week. Like, from what I've experienced in back testing, usually this happens around once a week. Like last week, this trade happened once. I took this trade once last week. It was a winner, but Let's see if, and I think last week was a Monday too that I took, or I was a Monday I took the trade on. All right, looks like we want to go for it. Sellers are stepping in pretty strong. Now, if we take out these pre-market lows, right, I'm going to need buyers to start stepping in aggressive. Most likely, buyers are going to start stepping in pretty aggressively when we take out these lows right here to try to push it back up. And my goal, right, as soon as, if this sweeps and buyers start stepping in aggressively, my goal is to jump in for the ride, just a little bit. I don't need to jump in for the whole ride, just to jump in like right in the middle, right when it's going up in the middle. Now, I don't want to be early and I don't want to be late. Oh, come on, NASDAQ. Come on, NASDAQ. Let's see. What is it trying to do? Right, this low right there. It's kind of like internal low. It's kind of the last area to get to before we're going to probably go to the lows. That's kind of what is this low right here. I think it's kind of what it's trying to... We're getting some buyers stepping in at that low. If we break these lows right here, and go pretty quickly. And my goal, right, what I want to happen is if it breaks these lows, I want it to go pretty quickly down to form a gap, right? Kind of like this right here, you see? See how it broke the lows and then it just it formed this imbalance right here? That's what I want happening. If this breaks the lows, forms an imbalance, and then takes out the lows, and then buyers step in aggressively and inverse an imbalance like this, that's when I want to get long for the move wherever the next liquidity point is that it probably would want to go to. And I'm going to be extra careful on these because these are my funded accounts. These are 10 funded accounts, so especially with 10 funded accounts, you don't need to make crazy money per trade to, for 10 funded accounts. Like if you only make $100, but you make it on 10 accounts, it's $1,000 in one trade you made. So let's see what happens. All right, let's see. All right, it's taking it out. I need aggressive selling. So far, we're not getting it. Come on. I need to find the market maker's phone number. They're going to start doing this right now. They're going to start dancing around the... Let's go. Come on. This is the hardest part about trading, right? This waiting part. This freaking waiting part is the hardest part about trading. And this is where a lot of people start to mess up, right? Like stuff like this, instead of waiting for the levels they have marked out, what a lot of people want to do is like, oh, it's going down. I used to do this. Oh, it's going down. Let me take a short real quick. And then it pops right back up and then you lose a bunch of money. And by the time you take a good trade, all you're doing is making back losses that you took on stupid trades. All right. Still, I mean, we're going to go for the, I think we're going to go for the lows. Appreciate the likes. Thank you. All right, come on, NASDAQ. And if you see, let me show you on the 15-minute chart, here's another indicator that buyers are probably going to step in pretty aggressively. I mean, there's a high likelihood. Look at this. Buyers already stepped in aggressively at this area, right? So this was 3 o'clock at night, right? So when we kind of like tapped into this area, buyers stepped in aggressively, and look at the move up they made. So now, right, the theory is if we start to come down back to this area, buyers are going to start stepping in aggressively again, potentially taking out this low and then immediately start pushing it right back up, is what I want to see happen. So hopefully we can get that. I just don't know how long I'm going to have to wait for it. I wish it could just happen right away. Sometimes it dumps right to it, and sometimes it's gonna like bounce around a little bit from this. I mean, dang, surprising that they're holding that like this kind of like internal low. This low right here from this candle. See how buyers again started, sellers pushed it down, buyers stepped in aggressively at this internal kind of low, and that's what they're trying to do right now. They took out this internal low, and now you see buyers stepping in aggressively again. So kind of like this area right here is the last hope for the bulls. If not, we're going down to these. If they can't hold this area, we're going down to the next area level. And I got to be mindful too if I do take a long right here, right? Say this was to take out these lows, and then I take a long. I got to be mindful of like, depending on how this 15-minute candle closes. What time is it right now? It's 10 o'clock. Oh, so that. Wait. It's 10 o'clock. I think my thing's off a little bit, but I think we just had a new 15-minute candle open. So this candle just opened. Depending on how it closes too, I mean, gotta be mindful of maybe an imbalance there forms. Too early to say, but. Right, and kind of like, here's the thing also. What are you trading? I'm trading MNQ futures. So NASDAQ futures. Here's the thing I gotta be mindful of too, right? Say if this continues pushing down and I get a setup to go long. If I do go long, I gotta be mindful of like potentially taking profits in this area right here. Because look at this, we're gonna have a resistance right here. We have an imbalance. And also right there, you don't see it on this chart, but on my other chart, I could see that VWAP is sitting right below that 200. So there's the 200, that gold line, and then we have VWAP right above it. So this area right here is gonna have a lot of resistance. If buyers do start to push it up, we'll probably see some selling pressure come in at this area. So we gotta keep that in mind, that I just need them to just, oh my gosh, just go down already. It's 10 o'clock. We're getting to the point. I just hope they don't I hope they don't start pushing it up without taking that low first. Come on. Patience, patience, patience. And I like it because we have a pivot and that's a pre-market low. So that's an extra confluence right there. The fact that there's a pivot point right there. This red line is a pivot point. And then we have a pivot point up here also, but. And I kind of use these pivots as like extra levels of like confluence. So if I want to take a long, right, in this area, if I'm looking to take a long, and there's a pivot point right there, happens to be a pivot, it's just an extra level of like confidence that I have that we could bounce there. All right, starting to try to push it up. What could happen is they could push it up back to the VWAP before they reject it again. So I don't want to guess what they're trying to do. I want to wait to see what market tries to do, or where market does, and then based off of price action, I enter and take a scalp. Right, you want to think of it the way I think of it, in terms of like probability, right? The market, all market is probability when you're trading, right? So if we take out a low and then buyers aggressively step in, what if at this area, what's the probability that it's going to go down versus what's the probability it's going to take out another high before going lower? And you kind of like, as time, when you stare at the charts longer and longer, every single day you stare at the charts, you start to realize, like, you know, levels. If we're at this level, we have a more likely chance of hitting this level because view op is right there, and we're going to reject off it probably. Okay, come on. I need aggressive selling to step in because I need a gap to get formed. I need buyers to give up. That's what I need. These buyers just keep stepping in at this area. I really want to hold it. Just give up. The bulls gotta give up. All right. We're pushing down. Let's go. Maybe bear flag. Yeah, it's kind of forming a bear flag in a way. I could kind of see it. I mean, this right here. I don't know. Kind of like. This is kind of a bear flag that's forming. We're kind of breaking down now. All right, there's a gap. If we can kind of like see what happens. Well, not yet because it hasn't closed, but. And then you gotta, when you enter a position, you gotta know how much risk you want to take based off of the trade, right? So that's why you see these boxes right here. What will help you out if you're in futures is, since I'm trading, I mean, it's going to be different versus like ES futures, S&P 500 versus NASDAQ futures. It's going to be a little different because price is different on there. But like for NASDAQ, right, I have these boxes marked out as 10 points, right? So every box is 10 points. So I know every box is $20. If I take one micro, it's a $20 move with one micro. So I kind of can multiply based off how much risk I want to take. Yeah, this is the 1 minute chart. I marked out my kind of levels on the 15 minute chart. So if you see, this is why I'm waiting for this area right now. Is because here's the 15 minute chart, right? We got a pivot point right there, and this is a pre-market low. So I want price to come down, take out this pre-market low, and show signs of strength for me to take a scalp long. So that's what I'm kind of my idea, and I'm waiting for. Now we're closing above this gap, which, I mean, there's still no. I hope they don't push it. Oh, come on, don't do this to me right now. And this is what I like to do. I like to sit and think about, okay, now what happened? Sellers stepped in and buyers are stepping in aggressively again. So what could happen at this point? We closed above this gap. See this gap that got formed? We're closing above it now. So what could potentially happen is if buyers do aggressively continue, we could continue move up to this area right here, take out this high, tap into this imbalance, and then continue going lower for the low. It's usually not like a straight shot to the area you want it to have, to go to. It's always like, it takes out a low, tries to go back up, sellers again step aggressively. It's just this battle between. So now that we kind of like see that we took out this low and we're inversing this gap. So now we're probably could at least go to this high or this high, one of the two. And we could take it out possibly before. So what I'm predicting, what I think could happen, is gonna at least take out this high, tap into this area, into this imbalance, and then it's gonna potentially go lower. That's what I'm hoping. I hope it doesn't continue going higher. So see that? So we kind of inverse this gap. Now we're going for these highs. We took out these highs, and now let's see what happens. And we're tapping into this resistance again, right? So a lot of sellers are probably gonna step in here. See that? Look at that. And you can clearly see it on the candle. Like the dude yesterday was like, you can't read the candles. By the way, that dude that I was talking to yesterday, that I was kind of like arguing with, dude was a bot. I was arguing with a freaking bot. Holy. I can't believe I was arguing with a bot. That's a new level of, when I found out he's a bot. Oh my gosh. And the only reason I found out is because he commented on like a video, and he commented a bot comment. So I'm like, I feel dumb for arguing with a robot. Alright, so see this? See what I said? We're gonna take out this high. In this area right here, most likely we're gonna get a lot of sellers that start to step in right here. Because we have this as a resistance point. We got an imbalance right here that got tapped into, and we're taking out this high. So what do? We tapped into this, and then sellers aggressively started to try to come in. Now that we took out this high, we could potentially, go lower for the lows. If they can't hold this kind of like support level that it needs to hold, this high right here. Appreciate the follow. VIX is going down. I used to actually look at the VIX for a little bit. Here's the thing. I used to look at the VIX. I used to look at like ES. A lot of people look at ES for like see what ES is doing, because a lot of times ES could do something first. If like sometimes Nasdaq's faster, ES is lagging. I try to keep trading as simple as possible. I don't want to have a bunch of like indicators and confluences, and I think if you could just look at price and like what you think at what price wants to do, right? We took out this high, and I said sellers are probably gonna start to step in. Sellers started stepping in, and you see this kind of like this old resistance turns into new support once it breaks it. So they need to hold this area, this kind of like support level. They need to hold it if they want to continue pushing it back up. If they can't hold this area, it's probably going to dump down to the low. This is not financial advice. This is just... I need them to dump it. That's what I need them to do. I need Trump to tweet something. Let's go, Trump. Tweet something. Push it down. Ugh. All right. Come on. We're getting aggressive sellers. Let's go. Dump it. Dump it now. There you go. There you go. So Buyers failed to hold this area. As you see, they tried, right? You could see on the chart that they tried. Bounced off here, stepped in, and then failed, and just aggressively sellers started coming in again. So now I want it to continue going lower, take out the low. Let's go. Give me my trade for the day. Just following along, are you looking for a low to buy right now? So yeah, so my idea, thank you for the likes. My idea right now, right, is what I want to see happen is I want this to go down. This line right here you see drawn on my chart is the pre-market lows. So I want, and this is a pivot point right here. So I want price to come down. I want it to take out pre-market lows. And then I want like a gap. Like you see these gaps right here? I want a gap to get formed and then take out the lows and then inverse the gap. Like it kind of did right here. You see this gap that it closed above it, inversed it, and then went for the highs? That's what I want to happen. So lows swept, a gap gets inversed, and then the next liquidity point targeting. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. And that's the important thing. Like when you have a theory and you want something to happen, I think it's important to wait for your trade to happen, right? And not take dumb trades, like I said before. Because taking dumb trades, if you want to take dumb trades and just scalp whatever, have multiple funded accounts for that. Have multiple like prop firm accounts. Have one prop firm account that you take a specific trade on. Have another account that you maybe scalp on. So you're not taking, just a bunch of dumb trades. Like all we need to do in the market is find areas with higher probability, a probability that's in your favor, right? So it's like there's specific areas, right, where the probability becomes higher that one thing is going to happen over another thing that's going to happen. Like even before, I said this before this move even happened. I literally said this. If people were on here, they remember me saying, right? This gap swept the low, gap got inversed. Now, what's the probability? In my opinion, there's a higher probability that we're going to at least take out these highs, go for these highs. We went for these highs, and I said, this area right here is going to be a high area that sellers are going to want to step in. Why? Because we're going to take out this high, we're tapping into this imbalance, and we got a resistance right here. So you have a resistance, imbalance, and this high gets swept, sellers, and there's a view up there if you don't, and there's a 200. There's so many levels that it's going to have such a hard time getting through. Sellers are going to start to step in. What happened, right? Took out the high, tapped exactly into this resistance, and sellers stepped in aggressively. I mean, it's just price action. Just learning the terms when it gets low. Do you wait for a wide swing, buy, then hope for the run? Yeah, so what you want to see is if it does, so, right, I look for these gaps to get inversed and for specific areas to get swept, right, for a low to get taken out. So, and what you want to see is aggressive. Once a low gets taken out, you want to see aggressive buying pressure step in, right? For example, like you see this low right here, what happened? It pushed down, it took out this low, and then look at this. Aggressive buying pressure stepped in immediately after taking out that low. And it inversed this gap. So now I can think, right? I didn't take this trade, but I can think, okay, maybe there's a possibility we can at least go for these highs. Or these highs. One of these two highs are going to probably most likely want to get taken out. And it went for those highs. And this is like, think about it this way. Price moves by taking out lows and highs and lows and filling imbalances. Right? Look at this. We took out a high. Right here. We took out a low. Right? We started to push up. We took out this high. We started to dump down. We filled this. There's an imbalance right there. We filled that imbalance. We started to push up. I mean, it's like, it's not 100% obviously. It doesn't always happen like this, but like, yeah, no problem. But here's what I would recommend, right? You want to kind of you just, why is it saying I disconnected from live? I'm still live, am I? Yeah, I'm still live. What you want to do is just, well, sorry, there's people, is just look at price action and you'll notice things happen time and time again. You only get paid by passing the funded accounts, or you can get payouts during it. No, so that the way these funded accounts work is, so you pay for, like, for example, Apex. When it's 80% off, it's like $33 for one account, right? And then you can copy trade too if you get a copy trader. But in simple terms, right? One account, you buy one account, you have like the most amount you're able to lose. So for like a $50,000 account, for Apex, there's a $2,400 drawdown and a $3,000 take profit. So you have to hit that $3,000 take profit, and there's a little bit of more rules with it, right? There's like a trailing drawdown and stuff like that. But in simple terms, right, you could read through the rules and stuff. You want to make 3,000. Once you make 3,000, they put you in a funded account, what's called, and then you can start making real money. And then you get, when you're in a funded account, you make $3,000, and then after that buffer, you could start taking withdrawals. Every like 10 days, you could start taking a withdrawal. Man, I am so disappointed that this didn't take out the low. Come on. So in the beginning, it's kind of like, if you don't trade, it seems complicated, but it's really not. It's not that complicated. They have some rules, but you know, at the same time, they got to protect themselves too. They're not going to just make it super easy to get payouts and then like they go bankrupt. Obviously, they're going to make it a little bit challenging, but you just have to follow the rules and, you know, get payouts. And it's just a good learning opportunity too, so that if worse comes to worse and something happens and you can't trade, you know, these prop firm accounts anymore, I mean, who knows what could happen. And then you could always, your goal is to be able to learn in prop firms so that if you need to go to a live account, you could easily fund a live account because you've proven yourself that you can make money with a prop firm. So there's no reason you can't just go to a live account. Oh boy. Looks like we didn't, I mean, we still have hope. We still could, it's coming to that 1030 mark. So, like what I said yesterday, 1030, a lot of times we see some form of bearish action, meaning some form of a downtrend, downward move at 1030. We're coming in on that point, and we're tapping into view op. We're literally at view op right now. So, I really wanted these lows to get taken out, but I didn't want to do it. I mean, they still could do it. We still have time, but you bought assuming you mean you bought a few at open to learn. It shot up at the start. Now I'm trying to decide whether to sell. Here's what I would recommend too. Have a strategy. When you're trading, you never want to be in a scenario. And believe me, I used to trade options, and when I was learning, which I still am learning, and all traders are technically learning always, but you never want to be in a situation where you're in a trade and you're thinking like, should I sell? Should I buy? Should I sell? Should I get out of this trade? Should I hold this trade? Like, anytime you get into a trade, meaning anytime you put risk on the table, you want to know exactly where you're going to stop out and where you're going to take profit. You have to have a plan, because if you don't have a plan, most of the time you're going to get burned, right? This holding and hoping, it doesn't turn out good most of it. You can get lucky a few times, but in the long run, it could burn you, right? So for example, if it would have swept this low, or this, if I would have took this trade, right? Let's mark this out, because this is kind of my setup. But for example, if you would have took this trade, right? If, for example, you saw a low get taken out, and if you were to buy right here, if I was to buy right here, I know exactly where I'm getting out. If my stop loss, meaning, is below the lows, meaning if price gets below I don't even want to be in this anymore. So I'm losing money. If it drops down, I get stopped out and lose money. My take profit would be at these highs right here. So I know exactly, as soon as I get into a trade, I know if it drops below, I'm taking a loss. If it pops above here, I'm taking a profit. And I know exactly where I'm getting out, where I'm getting stopped out if it doesn't work. And you stick to your plan, because if you don't, it could turn out pretty badly. Trust me, this is from experience. I've gotten burned by holding trades. Because anytime you get into a trade, you're putting risk on the table. You never know what could happen. You always want to have kind of like stop loss and then a take profit. I mean, you never know. Trump can tweet out something in a few minutes, which could shoot the price going crazy, right? That's happened before. I've seen it happen, right? Or Trump will tweet something, or some news can come out, and then it could move aggressively in one direction. And you don't want to be stuck in a trade, losing a bunch of money. You want to get stopped out immediately if something doesn't go in your favor, or if you're just wrong. Every trader is wrong, right? I appreciate the gift. Thank you so much. And you can see the way price, like, I mean, some people say, you know, the way I view price and the way I see how price moves, right? It takes out liquidities and it fills imbalances. I mean, in my eyes, that's the way I see price move. And you see it time and time again. It took out a low, it took out this high, it filled this imbalance, now it's taking out this high, now it could come back down to take out this low, go back, like, you know, so it's, I appreciate the advice. It's only a small stock to learn how to read, but it's high right now. Yeah, it's, you just, anytime, yeah, you put risk on the table, you want to have a plan and a strategy to get in and get out if you're wrong, because every trader is wrong at some point. Even the traders, there are traders out there that I would consider like the big dogs of trading, right? The guys who are making hundreds of thousands a day, maybe working for a hedge fund or something. Every trader, no matter how good you are, no matter how much money they make, they are wrong sometimes. And that's kind of, I think, what separates a good trader from like somebody who doesn't, like a beginner trader. One big thing is a good trader can admit when he's wrong. When you're wrong, and you just got to get out, take the L, and move on, because let's face it, there's always another day. Tomorrow's always going to come, right, in trading. Right? There's going to be tomorrow. Even if you take a loss today, tomorrow's going to come. You can take a winning trade. But the one thing you do not want to do when you're trading is start to like revenge trade and continue taking dumb trades because you got mad at the loss you took. And you spiral out of control, and then when you do get good trades, all you're doing is making back the losses for the dumb trades. What do you think of Robinhood? I mean, I used Robinhood like a long time ago when I first got into trading, but I mean, I wouldn't use it if you're like, if you're not like, depending on what you trade, Robinhood's kind of like it's a very, it's a platform for people that maybe want to like long-term invest, I would say. If you want to buy like an S&P 500 and hold it for a while. But like day trading, I don't think Robinhood's good for day trading, where you're buying and selling in the same day. I mean, their charts aren't even like, Robinhood charts aren't really good. You don't get charts like these, and where you're able to mark out and look at. Unless it's changed. I mean, I haven't looked at Robinhood in a long time. I'm assuming it's not much has changed, because it's not really a platform for day trading. What I've used when I traded options, I used Thinkorswim. So TDM, I don't actually Charles Schwab, they bought it out, but Thinkorswim I use when I traded options. For futures, I use this chart right here is NinjaTrader. So I use NinjaTrader and I trade with prop firms using NinjaTrader. What other confluences are you using? So typically in the beginning, the only confluences I have, right, as I look for like a low to get swept, like see these kind of like levels I have marked out. I'm gonna have to switch accounts because it's not looking like it's going down to these lows. I have these kind of levels marked out, and my main confluences I look for is I want to see a low or a high get taken out before I even think about entering a trade. So a low or higher gets taken out, a gap. So what I mean by gap is like, see this gap in the market right here? This is a gap. This level I have marked out is a gap. So a low or high get taken out, a gap to get inversed, and then I just target the next liquidity point, wherever that next liquidity point could be, or the highest probability. So for example, this trade, right? A low got taken out, this gap got inversed, and now highest probability is these highs right here to get taken out, and it went for those highs. So this typically, so it would have been like 20, 30, like say 40, and then it would have been a 1-to-1 ratio trade, right? I would have been targeting these highs and my stop would have been below the lows because it's sweeped, inversed, and then quick scalp. Now, when you're looking something like this on a 1-minute chart, it typically, you gotta be careful because it's a lower probability than if I have 15-minute like lows. Like this 15-minute is gonna be a higher probability than like a 1 minute to get swept. See this 15-minute? This is a higher probability trade. And then there are other confluences that I don't really look at, but like that I have on my chart. Like this is a pivot point indicator. And if there's a pivot right by the area of interest, it's just an extra level of confluence that I have. Or if I'm trying to take a short in this area, right? The fact that there's a 200 gives me an extra level of confidence in the trade. But there are so many strategies out there. You gotta find something that works for your psychology. That's the thing. Like for example, I take like these scalps because I'm pretty impatient. I don't like to sit there and wait for, some traders wait for like, and I have a strategy on my other accounts where it happens once a week. So like, I'm not about to come here every single day and only take one trade a week. I don't have the patience for that. So I have one set of accounts that I take that trade, specific trade, maybe once a week it happens. And I have these other accounts where I scalp, right? These kind of like 1 minute, like quick scalps. Like I could have took this scalp right here, but the reason I didn't take this kind of is because I was already on my other accounts and I was looking for this low to get swept. So, oh man, now I gotta switch to my other accounts because I don't think at this point, we're above VWAP. I mean, I don't think we're going for these lows anymore. We could, but and here's the, oh crap. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I think It disconnected my live for inactivity. I think my computer is not, it's freaking... I wish TikTok had the live stream for Macs, because this freaking sucks. It disconnected. I don't think my computer is strong enough to handle. TikTok uses a lot of power for some reason. I have no idea why. It's like it uses a lot of CPU, and my computer is just like, my computer is running at like, I'm trying to get maybe a cooling pad too. Man, my CPU's at 98%, which is freaking crazy. Wait. I mean, it's not too bad. It's at 20. Alright, sorry. Literally, TikTok closed my live because it said for inactivity, which I think my computer is having a hard time with TikTok. I have to do this on my laptop because me trading on my desktop doesn't work because I have a Mac. They don't have TikTok Studio for Mac. It freaking sucks. I don't know why. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. Man, we're at 10:30. I mean, let me switch to my. This is the hard part, is me having to switch between multiple accounts. It's kind of annoying. Alright, sorry, I'm trying to switch. Making sure it's switched and I don't have my other accounts because I'm gonna... Alright, so... Man. I mean, we're failing. We tried to break above VWAP here. Tried to break above VWAP, failed to do so. Now we're going lower. I mean... It detected that the live chat didn't appear on your screen the past 2 minutes, raising a mobile device to view comments from your live chat. TikTok's platform is kind of I mean, so far there's really nothing. The only trade I really could have taken, a scalp, which would have been this trade right here, but didn't take it because I was already on my other accounts. Now at this point, I mean, all right, they're breaking back above you up. Not really. Just immediately. Come on. Come on, TikTok. Bruh. Is today gonna be the day where we just don't? Oh! Oh, come on. Don't make me switch now to my other accounts. I literally just switched accounts. Oh, okay. Ugh. We're still overall pretty bearish. I mean, price is failing to break. I mean, it broke view op and then completely rejected. So pretty much this high right here is view op. Thanks for the help this morning. I sold that one, made 6.3 on a 1 point stock, but learned way more. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, that's kind of like advice that'll save you a lot of money and a lot of heartache. I could tell you stories when I started trading, man. It's like you gotta learn from other people's mistakes. Oh, especially with options, man. The stories I have. And it's like for me, I had to learn the hard way. You do stupid stuff enough times and get burned enough times, right? That you stop doing it because you're like, I gotta stop. This is ridiculous. It's like if you keep getting shocked because you stick your fingers in a socket enough times, you're probably gonna stop. I've had times when I was trading options, man. I was like, when I was trading options, I would get into a trade. And it wouldn't go my way. Heck, hold on. It wouldn't go my way, and then I would like, I'm gonna hold this. It'll probably go back up. I'm gonna hold it. It'll probably go back up. And especially with options, if you know options have time decay. So if you hold like a contract that expires the same day, by the end of the day, you could be break even and you're still at a loss, a big loss because of time decay. So I traded, I went to futures and now I'm like, because I got burned enough times, I'm like, if I have a plan, I will stick to that plan. If the trade doesn't work, I will get stopped out. There's always another trade. There's always tomorrow. Appreciate the follow. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what happened earlier. My live got cut out because TikTok thought there was inactivity. I don't know if it's their platform or what, but just like, your live has ended. I'm like, what? All right, at this point, shoot. I mean, I would much rather prefer to take a short than a long at this point. At this point in the chart. We're below view op. We're below the 200. We're still pretty bearish overall. Unless this somehow breaks above and starts showing me signs of strength, then maybe I could think about going long. But as of now, there's no reason to be going long right now. And typically, here's the thing. After 11 o'clock, I mean, it really starts to kind of die down. It really starts to get really slow. And so a lot of people typically start trading after 11. And that's what I do. Once 11 o'clock kind of hits, I'm typically done. If I didn't take any trades by 11, I'm done. I'm not about to get in a trade and then be stuck in it for the next 30 minutes because of price action. It just starts to kind of go slower at 11. See if I could go on my phone and read the chat on my phone, because let me see. Maybe I'll do that. I mean, all right. It's kind of whoa. Let's see if that helped out a little bit. Oh, dang, that did kind of help out. All right. All right, we're kind of breaking above view up now. Now, see, if we break above view op, and if we're broke above the 200, now it's got to kind of break, right? In order for me to think about getting long, what I have to kind of see at this point is it's got to break this level, right? It's got to break this level. Other than that, it's got to break this level, continue going up, and then kind of maybe show me some kind of strength, sign of strength, and then maybe a pullback back into this level, right? Because now, if it breaks this level now should hold as support if it does break it. Or if it sweeps it, we're going down. So staying alive, I'm staying alive. And like, The other thing is, right, if I take trades, I typically try to take trades off of my entries, could like off of probability, right? Like, and if the probability is really bad, like if I was to see this kind of high, sorry. If I was to kind of see this high get swept, right? And then I see this kind of form, this inverses. I mean, the risk in this trade kind of sucks because I understand getting into this trade at this point right here. I understand there's a high likelihood that it can bounce off of this right here. I mean, it could go to the lows or it could bounce off of this. So if I'm getting in here, right, my profit target's like 10 points and I would be risking what, like 10, 25 points? I'd be risking 25 points to make 10 points. You gotta start to think, is it worth the risk? I mean, it would have worked out, but there are times where this probably maybe wouldn't work out. And here's the thing, a lot of people laugh at negative RR. Some people have negative RR that are profitable. So it's like, it just depends on your trading, you know, your system and all that. How do you decide which stock to look for before open? Here's the good thing about how I trade is I never look for any, because I trade futures, right? Every single day, I trade NQ futures. So no matter the day, I don't have to come in earlier and kind of see what stock is pumping and what stock is this and that. I trade only NQ futures. There's plenty of price action and plenty of setups to take, you know, on NQ futures. And it's pretty volatile, so I don't have to look for that. I trade NQ futures every single day. It was more of a heartache when I was trading options. And I had this like breaking news indicator where I would get like these breaking news alerts, and then I would be able to go on it. The gap there's so much more to trading stocks, and like also it depends on your strategy, but like trading options and stocks and stuff, I feel like there's so much more that goes into it than just futures. I mean, I'm just trade the same thing every single day. That's what's cool about it. I used to have to come in with the options. I used to have to come in earlier and like see what stock has gapped, like see breaking news, get up earlier. Like it was way more, it was harder. And see what I said? Remember what I said, right? We gotta break above this. Before we can even think about getting long, we gotta break above this level and continue going. Because at this point, right? At this point, it's only sweeping it. So you don't want to take a long when it's just sweeping it. Because what ends up happening is you're just going to get stopped out. And now if you look on the 15-minute chart too, right? You got to be mindful of this. Look at the 15-minute chart. There's a high likelihood that we're gonna get some form of a rejection off this imbalance right here. If I mark it out, right? Most likely, we could get some form of a rejection. It's tapped into it. Look at that. Tapped into the imbalance. Look at that rejection. Holy, that's a massive rejection. Literally as I'm talking about it. Look at that. Holy, what is going on? Do I need to switch to my other accounts? Oh my gosh. Literally, I said, we tap into this imbalance. There's a high likelihood we could reject off it. Look at that, perfect tap into it. And then immediately dumps. All right. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm switching to my other accounts. One. Just in case I get a setup, because this is looking good. It's dumping. Oh my gosh. What is going on? Did Trump tweet something? Trump. Trumpity Trump. Oh, what? Bruh. Can't view it. Bruh. Ugh. What is it we're watching? What prop firm you trading? I trade with Apex. What is it we're watching? We're watching NQ futures. Waiting for something to set up. This is insane. It dumped super hard. I mean, look at this candle. Holy. This just engulfed like 30 other candles. Look at that. And they pushed it right back up. I want this low to get taken out. I want this freaking low. I keep switching accounts because I think the setup's about to happen. I'm waiting for that low. Man, at this point, man, you know what? At this point, I'm not taking a trade on these accounts, on my funded. I'm gonna go to my other accounts. All right, hold on. I'll be back. Trying to stay alive in these markets. Trying to stay alive. All I'm doing. We're staying alive. Come on, NASDAQ. Stop doing this BS. Like, if you're gonna do something, just do it. I mean, what is the prop for? What prop firm? What is prop firm trading in general? So prop firm trading is there are different prop firms out there that how it works is, right, you have a set of rules that they have that you have to kind of follow when you're trading, but in general, they give you what's called an evaluation account, and that evaluation account has a profit target, and that evaluation account has a maximum drawdown. For example, right, and there's like Apex, when it's 80% off, which I think it is now, it's like $33 per account, right? So you pay $33, you activate it, you get like your platform and everything, and I think there's like an activation fee too once you pass. But you have the evaluation, you get to the $3,000 profit target. Once you pass your evaluation, and then you activate your funded accounts. There's like an activation fee for the funded accounts. It's not too much, but you get your funded accounts, and then once you make that, like say for a $50,000 account, that $3,000 again, then you could start taking payouts from those accounts. If you follow the rules, you can actually start withdrawing real money. So it's pretty cool because you have very little invested, and if you know how to trade, if you learn how to trade, and you're disciplined, and you have a strategy, and you can make money, you can take payouts from these prop firm accounts. And it's an amazing way to learn. And my recommendation is when you trade these prop firm accounts, to trade them as if you had a real account, right? So that your goal in the future is, if you need to switch to a live account, you can always make that transition from prop firm to your own live account capital. So without any because some people kind of trade the prop firms in a way that you can't trade live accounts the way some people trade prop firm accounts, because they don't care, right? They pay the $33, they blow an account, they pay another $33, they blow an account, they pay another. They just keep doing that. They keep blowing accounts. But you can't really do that with real money. You're gonna go broke. Just learned you can't wait NQ on Fidelity. I'm not sure if I don't know about Fidelity. I trade with Ninja Trader. So like for example, like Charles, like Thinkorswim, I think it's a Charles Schwab, like they have futures, but if you do try to trade futures, I would recommend using an actual like futures brokerage. Like I use Ninja Trader. Ninja Trader is a futures brokerage, so it's a lot better than like, I mean, maybe they have it. I don't know. I can't say if it's good, if it's bad, or what. I've always used Ninja Trader. It's one of the most popular futures brokerages, and you can use it with prop firms too. So, how do you get your levels? So I have two different I typically, for like a higher probability trade, I like to look on the 15-minute chart. So you can see the 15-minute chart right here. The levels I have kind of marked out, right? This is pre-market low. There's pre-market high. And I kind of just look for, I have these pre-market low and high because I trade those on my other accounts. But like for my scalping accounts, I trade like 1-minute scalps. Right? So you can look at levels on like a 15-minute chart, which are high probability levels. Or you could take scalps off a 1 minute, which are more riskier. They're riskier trades, but they're not bad. It just depends on how you want to trade. But I kind of just try to look at price action, and I try to look at, levels that get taken out. See if I can give you an example. Yesterday I took a trade. That's too far back. Like, for example, if this level right here, kind of like this level right here, like if this level gets taken out, it sweeps it. A gap gets formed. It sweeps it, inverses the gap, and I take a short quickly to where the next like high probability area is that I think it could bounce off of, whether it's like maybe this area or probably somewhere around here because we have the 200. That's just like in general how and I just kind of look at price action and see, right? And you gotta remember, like, price, what it likes to do is take out highs and lows, and it likes to fill imbalances. right? This is an imbalance on a 15-minute chart. Filled the imbalance, it took out this high, and it dumped. It dumped, then it took out this low, and then immediately started pumping again. Now, you don't know exactly which lows and highs are going to get taken out. But when a high gets taken out and it aggressively dumps, right? Not that I would take this trade, because getting in short right there is kind of dumb because your risk is crazy. But like, at least a 1-to-1, right? Like, for example, if I would have took this scalp right here, right? I would have took this on, I could have taken this on my scalping account. Like, if I see this low get swept, and look at this immediate buy up, and we inverse this gap right here, right? I can target these highs. I can confidently assume that we could potentially go higher probability going to these highs than taking out the lows again. We've already taken out the lows, so there's a higher probability, in my opinion, that we can go for at least these highs. So if I was to get in as soon as this candle closes above this gap, stop loss below the low, targets like above these highs right here, boom. That's kind of how I do it. Gotta go. Thanks for help. No problem. No problem. Stop by again tomorrow. Appreciate you stopping by. SBET. I don't trade stocks or options or anymore. I used to trade penny stocks, but I don't. Once I went to futures, I never went back to options. I never went back to any of that. Futures is, in my opinion, I love futures. Not to say I will never go back to options, but I just like futures. It's very simple. I mean, it's like I trade NQ futures. I don't have to sit there and look up different kinds of stocks. I don't have to trade different, look for what's gapping up, look for this stock, look for this stock. I trade same thing every single day. You make more than on penny trades? I wasn't really like, penny trading is like very, it's hard. It's a lot harder, in my opinion, than futures. I mean, it's not to say you can make more. Like, there are people who are good at penny trading. There are people who are good at futures trading. But I just find it easier. There's less headache. There's less headache of me trying to find, that news article, that penny stock that's gapping up, and trading the same thing every day, NQ futures. I don't have to sit there and look for different kinds of penny stocks and see what's gapping up, see what this and that and this. It's just more of a headache. I don't want to deal with that. And it's a lot more like, penny stocks are a lot more crazier. I think futures is more predictable. Like, NQ futures, in my opinion, is more predictable than penny stocks. Can you please explain your strategy when you trade futures? So typically, I have two different sets of accounts, right? I trade with Apex. Right now I have 4 evaluation accounts that I'm trying to get funded, that I'm scalping on. And then I have 10 funded accounts that I look for a specific setup. It's the same strategy, but a little bit higher probability. So for example, my main strategy, put it in simple terms, that I like to look for is I like to look for a sweep of a higher low and a gap that gets inversed, right? So for example, on my funded accounts, I have these levels marked out. This is pre-market low, and then I have pre-market high too, somewhere up there. But like what I was looking for right here, right, is I wanted pre-market low to get swept for a gap to get inverse for me to take a long on my funded accounts. Now on my evaluation accounts that I'm trying to pass, those are my scalping accounts. Those kind of, I look for, they're a little bit lower probability, but like for example, like this. I would have been looking for something like this, like a trade like this, right? So what I'm looking at price action, I see that sellers step in aggressively. I see this low right here. Sellers step in aggressively. This gap gets formed, right? And then look at what happens. Buyers aggressively step back in to push it back up. So now at this area, at this level in time on the chart, what I see is we took out this low and we're inversing this gap. So in my mind, what I'm thinking is there is a higher probability in my mind that we can go for at least these highs right here. So what I would do is I would immediately, as soon as this 1 minute candle closes, and that's why in my videos, if you ever see me go 5, 4, 3, 2, I'm counting down when the 1 minute candle is about to close. And if that 1 minute candle closes above the gap, I'm looking for a quick scalp. So it would have been, a quick scalp for the highs, stop loss at the lows. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. A gap to get inversed, a liquidity to get swept, target the next high probability area that I think you could go to. And I kind of like to just, even if I don't trade, right? Like, even if I don't take a trade, I like to sit here and I like to watch what price does, right? And try to, like, predict. Like, this is a good exercise for people to do. And people don't like to do this because they like to be in trades all the time. But, like, a good exercise is, at certain areas, you try to predict where price is going to go without necessarily taking a trade, right? Like, if I see price dump down here, okay, I see price dump, I see it take out this, I see it taking out this low right here, right? Starting to take out this low. Now, I can assume that maybe it could potentially try to go up, aggressive buying, and so, but yeah. I need to probably switch my camera, too. Trying to make sure I have the chart showing good so you guys can see it good. Probably need it up there like that. But yeah, that's that. I'm probably gonna hop off here soon. I mean, I'm not planning to take any more really trades today. Typically after after 11 o'clock, I don't really like to take trades after 11 because price action really just starts to die down. And we just go a lot slower. It is what it is. But I'll be back tomorrow. Let me look at something real quick. I'm hoping I fixed my computer thing. What we trading? We're trading NQ futures. NQ futures. I'm not planning to take any more really trades at this point. I'm gonna hop off soon. I've been live since 9:30, so about almost 2 hours. I'm just like looking at right now what price action is doing. So like right now, right? We're starting to break above these highs, which we're above VWAP, we're above the 200. So at this point, I really would not be looking at shorts, right? Because we're above VWAP, we're above the 200, and we're kind of like showing signs of strength. So if I was wanting to take a long, what I want price to do for my strategy, I want it to pop back up, cup back down, maybe make a low, and then start showing signs of strength, and somewhere in time that low gets swept to go back up. Or you can look for I can look for a long, right? As soon as price starts showing signs of strength, now this old resistance becomes new support. So now, in order for price to hold up, it's got to hold this support level now. As it keeps pushing up, this has to hold as support. If this doesn't hold as support, right, it just sweeps it and continues going down. So we got this like kind of like imbalance. This is a 15-minute imbalance right here. That it's kind of an area. It's an iffy area. Like you really don't know. I mean, it could. And if I was to want, also the other thing is, if I was wanting to take a long, I want to see it close above this imbalance in order for me to take a long. See, this is why you don't go long. Look at that. Look at that dump. Like I said, I mean, holy. Like, but at the same time, I don't really want to go short here either, because holy. What in the world is going on? Bro. Trump, what are you doing? Dude, I think my chart is lagging on my... Why is it lagging? Or, oh, that's just because it's a different... I'm looking at NQ futures. This is MNQ. Oh my gosh, dude. Bro. What the heck is going on? Look at the selling. Look, buyers step in. Look at the selling. Boom. Dump. Buyers, like slowly, buyers start to push it up, and the sellers are like, nah. Boom. Hit the sell button. Holy... Dude, this is insane. Is Trump talking? Who's talking? I can't see his... I can't see... You need... I don't have a... What's it called? Bro, what is going on? Did somebody... It doesn't let me view his... it makes me want to create an account. Bro, I don't want to create an account. Oh my gosh. Sucks. This is insane. Bro, what is this? Like, what is going on right now? Buy the dip? No, man, I can't. There's no entry for me here. The only way I would buy something right now is if this low gets taken out right here. There's still a chance we can go for this low. So, last thing I want to do is buy this and then it dumps down to this low. So, I want to see at least this low gonna get taken out, and then if they start pushing it up, I can be like, okay, we've already taken out this low, so I can look for a long if there's a setup. Honestly, I don't... Holy. I hate this. The price action? This is insane. Like, what is this? Bro. Who's talking? And this is a prime example of you should have a stop loss in place. Can you imagine if somebody was like, if somebody didn't have if somebody got in, for example, not my strategy, but if somebody was to get in like at this area right here, he's getting in, and then like he doesn't have a stop loss in place, and then just massive candle down. If you don't have a stop loss, you're done. You are done. And then at that point, what they end up doing, oh, I'm gonna hold, it's gonna go back up, it's gonna go back up. And it doesn't. It's gonna touch 22,928. 928. Yeah, well it did. Yeah, that's the level I have marked out, which is pre-market lows. So now it just took out pre-market lows. Finally, all this waiting. Let's see what happens. Now that we took out pre-market lows, I mean, are we gonna see if this gap gets formed or not? I probably shouldn't mark it out before. I've done that accident. I marked it out before it closed and didn't realize that it wasn't. Gold going crazy. Why is gold going crazy? Holy, the market's going crazy. What, like, is something happening? Are we in a war or something? But like this, man, like, I don't know if I want to take this long. If the setup happens, I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I'm about that life. That's the thing. If I was to take a long, if it inverses this gap right here, I mean, we're pushing into VWAP. That's the thing, is I hate buying into VWAP. I may not even get a setup. This looks like it wants to continue going down. Just made 2,300 in gold. Congratulations. That's dope. That is a good chunk of gold. Trump talked about firing Powell. Oh, really? I tried to, I used to be able to go on Truth Social and be able to see what he tweeted, but it's forcing me to try to make an account now. I don't know why, but I was trying to see if he said something, but him and Powell, he's the one who he's the one who put Powell in that spot. I thought there was rumors that he was gonna step down. I don't know. There's always rumors, but buy this. Does Trump tweet on X or Twitter? Does he? I'm not buying this, dude. Yeah, this is London low right here. This line I have drawn right here is pre-market low. I don't know if it's London low, but pre-market low. And here's my here's the cool thing about my strategy, right? If I'm looking to get long, for example, I'm looking for this pre-market low to get swept, right? As you can see, it did get swept, but I'm not entering just because it gets swept, because it can continue going down, and I don't want to be catching a falling knife if it's continuing going down. Ideally, what I would like to see it close above this gap, but at the same time, I gotta ask myself, do I want to get long if it does close above this gap? Because we got VWAP right there. So would it be smart buying right into VWAP, potentially a rejection off VWAP and a dump back down? Maybe, if I'm a degenerate. If I'm crazy enough. And there's this gap, and there's a gap right here, this massive imbalance right here that it could potentially reject off of. So I'm going to be risking a bunch of money to make a little bit of money at this point if I do buy this. So it'd be like 20, 40. Yeah, I can't. That's too much risk. Even with one micro, that's still too much risk. I mean, it's just not worth it. It's not necessarily only the risk part. It's just the fact of, I think it's going to reject off of here. So if I do get long and it's going to reject, and I just lost money for no reason. I'm a degen, I eat crayons. You sniff those? Remember in school we used to have those, what's it called? We used to have those markers in school with like the grape scented markers and the freaking strawberry scented markers. And you have those kids just sitting in the back of the class, just like. Eat crayons. I remember there was a kid in school that he ate glue. I remember he used to take glue sticks and he used to just lick glue sticks. Some crazy. This was so long ago. Why not go to lower time frame to see if there was a break of the high? What do you mean lower? I'm already on the pretty much lowest time frame, the 1 minute chart. I mean, here's the thing. It did sweep a high right here, but at the same time, it swept this high. But even though it swept it, like there's no entry for me. I'm not entering off of this right here. That's for sure. Like there was literally no entry for me to take. I mean, the only really entry for me all day that I could potentially have seen myself taking is this right here. Is this gap. This swept, gap got inversed, target a 1-to-1. That's kind of the only scalp that I would have seen myself taking. Other than that, there's not really much to take. I mean, even this, like, I can't take this. It's too much risk. You're at the bottom support. Yeah, sorry, I trying to make my chart, like, it's hard to fit everything in. Yeah, this is support. Like, look at this. Price is now pushing up. Like, if it does close, I think it will continue going up to a certain point, but, like, just the risk I have to put on the table versus the reward. Like, what am I gonna have, like, if I was to buy right here, my TP kind of would have to be somewhere in this, maybe, like, in the middle of this imbalance for a high probability, because I think it could reject off of here. So I would have a tiny stop, tiny take profit, and a massive stop. I don't know, man. Should I? Ugh! Maybe I'll take it on like a quick... still not worth it. Okay, let's calculate this. So 20... Bruh. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not doing it, because if I take this trade and I take a loss, and I know probably shouldn't take it, it's gonna ruin my day, because at the same time it's 11:30 and I know price action is typically slower at 11. Not today, but right here is where is going to cause resistance. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is there's so much resistance right there, right? Although this is kind of my strategy and I kind of want to take this, but it's not smart because there's so much resistance right here. If there wasn't a lot of resistance, if there wasn't this gap right here, there wasn't view up, the 200 wasn't there, then potentially I could, if I have room for more profit. It's just too much resistance in this area, and I really do think if it does close above this gap, I think there's a high likelihood we could reject off of this right here. And I'm not willing to take that risk on right now. I would rather wait for something better, like a better trade that I'm more confident in. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna give a prediction. I'm predicting if this closes above this gap, I'm predicting it's gonna reject in the middle. I'll even draw the line where I think it's gonna reject off of. Let's see how good I am at this. I predict it's gonna reject around this area right there. That line I have drawn. All right, we closed. So technically this is a buy for me. But I think we're gonna tap up to this area right here, and we're gonna reject off of this area. Am I right? Let's see. heavily rejecting off the 9-day moving average. And this gold line is the 200-day. So that 200-day is a pretty high level of. I'm just curious. Holy. Yep. That's why I don't. It's tapping into this imbalance right now. What's up with this price, dude? This price action is honestly, this price action is crazy for 11:30. This is pretty this is crazier price action than we had in the morning at 9:30. Buy it right below the box. Talking about a long? See, now this is invalidated. If you were long right now, this is kind of invalidated. Now that we're closing below, there's a high likelihood that we're going to take back these lows right now. I think we're going to go for those lows. See, this is exactly why. Just because the strategy forms doesn't mean I should always take it. This is a level of discretion that goes into trading too. That's like... Like, if it fails to hold this area right here, we're going buy now. That's my prediction. Hey, I mean, it's not a bad. Here's the thing. It's like, it also depends on your strategy. Like, are you scalping? Like, there are people who scalp for 10 points. Like, is this a bad buy down here? Depends on where your TP is. Like, if you're buying down here with a TP at, you know, at pre-market highs, then I don't know, man. I don't know. But if you're buying here for just like a quick TP, then maybe. I'm predicting it's gonna take out these lows. At this point, I think we're going for the lows again. We do have buyers trying to step in here, but sellers are, as soon as, and look at the candles. You also, if you look at the candles, the way they move, look at this. As soon as buyers start to kind of step in, sellers take over immediately. It's like almost like I look at it almost as like a tug of war. Like, I see a candle starts moving up, and then sellers aggressively take it back down. Buyers move it up a little bit, and then sellers aggressively move it back down. At this point, I mean, if we take out these lows right here, I think we're gonna keep dumping. I mean, it could sweep it. I don't know. Usually, if it can't hold pre-market lows, I mean, we're probably gonna go lower. Target all-time high? That's crazy. I don't know, man. I think it's gonna take out the lows. And here's the thing about so if I was to buy right here, the fact that it closed back below this gap, it's an invalidation now. I usually don't take a stop out. My stop usually is like pre-market lows, but like technically that's where you should get out if it invalidates your trade. But I've seen it work out too. I've seen it where it closes below and then continues ripping back up. So and this is why I like to see lows get taken. Like, if I was wanting to go long, I want to see a low get taken out first, right? Because now that kind of like, I guess people call it a protected low, right? So if I was to buy right here, I know there's a possibility that it could still go down for these lows. So like, if I was wanting to get long, I would want to see these lows get taken out first. Like this 15-minute low, so this line right here is a 15-minute low. What happened? The 15-minute low got taken out, and then it started moving up. So now if I'm above this, I know that, I mean, there's a higher likelihood we can continue going up for a little bit before we go back down to the lows. So now that we took out these lows, I mean, let's see if, let me see something real quick. So like, if I was wanting to get long, which I don't know if this is probably not a good long, depending on how this candle closes. We got 30 seconds left in this candle. And we're kind of below, like even if I was to get, maybe I'll take a long. If it shows me that buyers are stepping in, maybe I'll take a long. It's gonna be, it is a little bit risky. I'll probably size down, but just because like, so we have, also depending on how far it pushes down. Because the farther it pushes down, the bigger my stop has to be. So at this point, look at that, we're going down. So at this point, this isn't really a sweep anymore, these lows, right? It's closing, it's showing signs of strength below. Put up the 1 hour chart. Yeah, so if I was, for example, the next area, what the heck, why is it doing that? This 1 hour chart's glitchy for me. Bro, what the heck is wrong with this 1 hour chart? I would want to see these lows get taken out. Maybe even this low. Look at this. This low right here is a low. That's interesting. And then you got this low. That's also interesting right here. So I'll mark these kind of lows out. And then I'll go back to my 1 minute chart. And then I wait for a reaction off those lows. See if... And then... So it's taking out this low. So for example, if it were to close kind of above this gap, maybe, oh, actually this candle needs to close first. But I still wouldn't take this trade, even though this is kind of my setup. I gotta wait for this candle. I'm on 58, 59. All right, this candle's closing. So if this does close, I still don't want to take a trade, because if I was to get long right here, I understand that there's a high likelihood we could reject off of this, right? Old support turns into new resistance. This was support. Now we broke support. Now this support can turn into a resistance. So if I do get long right here, I know it could reject off of this support level. So is it really worth getting long for like a tiny bit of profit and then all this risk? Probably not. What's a better setup for me to go down to these lows, and now if it continues going down and I get that same setup, now I have more room to the upside before I think we could reject. And that's just kind of how I look at it. I mean, what's the most money you've made for trading? I think the most I made was when I traded options. So when I was trading options, I was on a live account. And when I was trading options, I mean, I was going on streaks like, I was trading same day expirations. I was making like $400 days. But right now I'm trading prop firms and there's more rules. I mean, you can make more money. It's just a little bit harder with the rules that you have to follow. It's like, I have 10 funded accounts. So it's like, if I make, you know, $200 on one funded account, you know, that's a $2,000 day. Or if I make $100, $1,000 day, it's like, but there's more rules to get a payout versus a live account. You can take your profits every day. All right, so look, We're about to close above it. Buy a daily SPY call, and you will make some money. Yeah, SPY. I mean, SPY is good for like, especially long-term holds. Like, you can't really like, if you buy SPY and hold it for like a while, it's a pretty good buy usually. Something way out of my... Oh, way out of the money? Yeah. Yeah, if you do buy for a longer term, you gotta make sure it's out of the money and not in the money. Like, not same day expiration. Because that will burn you so hard. But yeah, I haven't traded, honestly, I haven't traded options in years. I literally still have my account from TD Ameritrade for Thinkorswim. I used it to chart. And see what I said? Reason I wouldn't get long here, because I understand that we could reject off of this area right here. And what is it doing? It's rejecting. Now we're closing above it. Still I mean, it could continue going up. It's just, I don't know. It's not worth, for me, it's not worth the risk. Especially we're in a downtrend right now. But this is something I would take potentially. Like, if this low wasn't here, I would love to take this trade right now. We just got to break through this. If they end up breaking through this, we're probably going to go for these highs right here. Which, I don't know, man. I don't like that this area is right here and we can reject off it. I lost a lot of money. Do not want to say how much. Hey, I'm in the same boat. I lost a lot of money from back in the day when I didn't have a plan. I was kind of like learning how to trade, but what I was doing is I was like, I'm gonna buy this because I hope it goes up. I'm gonna buy this and just hold it. And let me tell you this. I had $10,000. This is when I was learning how to trade. This is when I was just in the beginning of trading. I had $10,000. And there was a Chinese coffee company called Luckin Coffee. And I was like, there's a lot of good news about this company. I'm just gonna I'm gonna buy this company and I'm gonna hold it, which is a very like, it's a pretty dumb strategy. Not knowing anything about the company, just thinking it's a good company. I buy the company and news comes out about the company. I put $10,000 in that company. News comes out that they were falsifying their records, like sales history. They were falsifying sales history. The stock tanked 90% in one day. I lost all my money. Ended up joining a lawsuit. I joined a class action lawsuit against that company. Lost $10,000. You know how much money I got from the lawsuit? $500. So after that, I got burned. Now when I trade, I have a strategy. I stick to the strategy. I know my stop loss. I know my take profit, and I stick to it. And that's it. It's worth about yeah, literally. I literally spent 10 grand, and now that stock is like... One of my friends sent me news that that company is planning to come to America. I'm just like, I get sick to my stomach when I hear that company. They cost me so much money. And here's the thing. They cost me all this money, and they just like, yeah, they paid a fine or whatever, but they're still in business. They're fine. I'm the one who took the biggest hit. They had to pay like hundreds of millions of dollars in fines, but still, like, they're still operational. Somebody like me that, I mean, it was my fault that I did that also. It was kind of a stupid thing to do, but... And considering it's a Chinese company, you never know what the heck goes on over there. Got one in New York and... Oh, are they already in America? I will never buy a cup of coffee from that company. They took enough of my money. It is what it is. I got over it. Looks like I should have taken this trade. trade turned out to be not a bad trade. I just didn't want to take it because I thought we could reject. I thought we could reject off of here. Now looking at it, I mean, look at this. My entry would have been right there at the close of that 1 minute candle. So we swept that 15 minute. And for those of you asking kind of how my strategy, we swept a liquidity. We formed this gap. We're closing above the gap. And look at this, move on up. And they're like half the price of Starbucks. Is this coffee even good? I should have taken that trade. Dang it. Is what it is. I mean, if they're I don't care how good their coffee is. I'm not giving them $1 anymore. I'm done with them. What site do you use to watch the market like this? This is Ninja Trader. It's like a broker. It's a brokerage. It's a futures brokerage called Ninja Trader. I also have for when I used to trade options, I have Thinkorswim. It's a Charles Schwab platform, Thinkorswim, from when and I have a little bit more indicators. The only other indicators I have on my Thinkorswim that I don't have on here is my VWAP, which I don't know why it's not letting me put VWAP on this chart, but VWAP is like right there, right by the 200 day. But yeah, this is I'm not a big fan of having a lot of indicators. I'm more of a fan of looking at price action and trading based off of price action. I think that's the best way. And having indicators is like a tool to... Having indicators is a tool for you to kind of like gauge, like, for example, right? Speaking of indicators, you see this pivot point right here? I don't know if you can see it. There's this red line right here. That's a pivot point. Now, if I was to get long right here, I'm not necessarily like looking to trade off the indicator, but I need to understand in my mind that if I do take a long right here, I understand we could reject here, and if we don't reject here, I understand that there could be some form of a rejection because there's a pivot point right here. So either I take profit here or potentially hold for it to see if it breaks through that level. And you see, it got to this pivot point, and what happened? There was just a little bit of a rejection off that pivot point. Now they're pushing it right back up. I'm on TradingView when I pay about $200 a year. You have to. What do you mean? You have to pay for TradingView? I never got TradingView. I know everybody uses TradingView, but I just never. I have enough charts. Oh, do the real simple for free? Yeah, I mean, but if you want real-time data on a whole bunch of charts, you pay. They make you pay for real-time data? Are you serious? What the? I have Thinkorswim. They don't make me pay for real-time data. I literally have real-time data right now on Thinkorswim. And if you trade with a prop firm, you get real-time data when you're using they use like a third party. So prop firms typically use, like futures prop firms, they use a third party, I don't know what it's considered, but it's called RTrader. So you trade off of that third party site. So like, that's also the thing, remember the whole thing with Forex where they were manipulating, like the Forex firms were manipulating price, and they got in a lot of trouble for that. The cool thing about futures is you have these futures prop firms that use a third party, like I guess data provider type of thing. So you use that third party data kind of provider to take trades with them. So these prop firms have no control over price action or anything. They can't manipulate your trades or in any way. So, and you get real-time data. Now you have to pay like an activation fee, but it's nothing crazy. It's like a one-time kind of activation fee you pay. Well, a lot of people don't know it's a 3 to 5 minute delay. That's crazy. That's a huge delay in your trading. They just added ads on free membership. I don't understand why you need, like, I mean, TradingView, there's other things that are free that you don't have to pay for, and you don't get ads, and you don't get, like, that's just as good. I mean, people think that you need all these indicators. That's why people are willing to pay, I think, because they think that this brokerage has some kind of a secret indicator that's gonna make you profitable, and there's no such thing as an indicator that's gonna make you profitable. Indicators aren't meant to be traded off of. They're meant to be used as levels of, like, we're pushing right here, price is pushing. I understand that if we get to this indicator, which is the 200-day, I understand that there could be some form of a rejection there. I'm not gonna take a trade off of it, but I understand that if I'm in a trade, or if I'm about to take a trade, right? What pair is this? This is NQ futures. Or I'm trading micros, so it's considered MNQ futures, but crap. Oh, I guess I should have taken that trade. Freaking A. The only thing that was keeping me from getting into this trade was this freaking stupid resistance right here. I just didn't want to get into this trade and it immediately reject off it. Looks like it would have been a good trade. And that's literally my strategy. Look, we have this liquidity, right? What happened? Liquidity gets swept, buyers start stepping in, they inverse this gap, and look at this, freaking move right back up. Don't fall for FOMO. Yeah, this is the hard part, is not freaking falling for FOMO. Because now you just see you missed out on this huge trade. But I don't regret it, because at the same time, I mean, it is what it is. I made a decision not to take it, and maybe, yeah, it's what it is. I'm not doing the FOMO crap. I've actually gotten pretty good about that. Like, if my entries are so precise, kind of, like, if I'm not, if I don't get into the trade when I need to get into it, by the time it's right here, I'm not getting into the trade, because I understand, and this has happened to me so many times, that if you get in later on, like, if you didn't get in right here, then why would you get in right there? Like, it makes no sense. If you didn't get in right there, why would you get in? The higher it goes up, the higher probability it's gonna have some sort of a pullback. So, I just understand that from getting burned so many times. A few days I watched you and noticed you're very patient. I try to be as patient as possible, because I just don't. I've gotten burned and hit so many times that even on my funded accounts. Here's what happened with I have 10, like I said before, I have 10 funded accounts with Apex. If you guys remember, during the tariff news, market was going crazy during the Trump tariff news and the whole tariff ordeal that was going on. Market was going crazy. I was like, market was so volatile, I would take a loss, I would go on tilt because I took a loss, and then I would take another loss because I was taking just dumb trades and not being patient. And all in trading you need to do, have your setup, all you need is one good trade per day. If you can take one good trade per day, and especially if you have funded accounts, think about it this. Think about 10 funded accounts, one trade per day, even a small $100 trade. 10 accounts, that's $1,000 per day. Even if you take one good trade like that a week, that's $4,000 a month. That's a pretty good, you know. That's how I try to look at it as. And it's also like, the longer you trade, the longer you get more patient, I think, because you get burned too many times. Is futures better than options? Just got burned today. Yeah, I've been in your spot. I've been where you were. Yeah, so here's why I like futures better than options. In options, you have time decay. Futures, you don't have time decay. So if in futures, if I was to get into a position in futures and it just goes sideways, right? I can still, at the end of the day, you could still be break even. You're always, your entry, your break even price is always your break even price, right? In futures, if you, for example, get same day expirations, which a lot of people like to do because it's quick money, if you get same day expirations in futures and it goes sideways, your break even price, because of time decay, your break even price is a loss now. So, yeah, ever since I switched to futures and because of the whole prop firm thing, I just don't see why I should trade options if I can trade futures, if I can get 10 funded accounts and I can trade 10 funded accounts. Not to say I will never go back to options. Maybe eventually I possibly will if something happens to like futures. I don't know, but as of now, I don't see any reason. There's no benefit for me to even go back to options. Now it's going to try maybe 984. Yeah. So now I'm looking at it as, right? We're taking out this high. So now hold on. We're taking out this high right here, right? Either price is gonna continue pushing up for this high, or we could get some form of a rejection at this high. But this high is, I mean, it's just where a lot of people are potentially gonna take profit. Crap, this would have been a really good trade. Holy. Man, that was literally the perfect trade of the day. You wouldn't get an any better trade of that. Oh my gosh. So now we took out these highs, right? See? We're taking out these highs. We're getting some form of a rejection at these highs. That's not to say it won't go higher. It's just to say that we're getting a rejection here. Now, there's no setup here, right? There is going to be this gap that kind of gets formed. But you don't really want to take that, right? Even if this gap does get formed, there's a gap. So even if it sweeps this high right here, even if it starts dumping down, I mean, there's a possibility if you get short right here, there's a possibility that it could take out this low and then continue going higher. If this low was like down here, you would have a lot more room, you know, to kind of go off of. It may not even close here. It may just continue going up. It may pull back. And now also this is support now. Remember, old resistance becomes new support. So now in order for them to continue pushing it up, for price to go back up, this has to hold as support. If this can't hold as support, we could potentially go down at least to these lows and take out these lows, and then either continue going lower or we can continue moving back up. So see this? We took out this high. See, I said we're gonna have some form of a rejection here. Now they gotta hold this. If they wanna continue pushing it up, they have to hold it. The day's been a little odd. Yeah, it's this day has been a little weird. Considering price action, like these like massive drops in price have been just freaking crazy. But yeah, it keeps me kind of cups today. There was a little bit of, I mean, there was some good crap. There was some good, what's it called? I mean, in hindsight, yes, this trade worked out, but I don't really regret not taking it. The other trade I could have taken, again, was kind of this. Where was it? No, that's not it. Is that it? No, it wasn't. Yeah, that is it. Kind of this trade, maybe. I mean, it closed above this gap, swept this low, closed above the gap, maybe a quick 1-to-1 scalp. That's the only other trade that I see that I could have taken. I'm new to trading in this page. How exactly are you watching this? I just watch price action. This is what I recommend. Especially if people who are getting into, if you're getting into trading and you want to learn trading, right? Obviously study what kind of strategy you want to have, right? Are you more of like a long-term? Do you want to have long-term holds? Do you want to be a scalper? Do you want to be like a day trader? Do you want to, you know, maybe get in and out within like a couple minutes? Just depends on your psychology and what you can. But what I would recommend is just watch price action, right? So watch, and this is the mistake I made in the beginning of trading, is I would sit there on my phone. Like I would have the charts opened up and I would sit there and I wouldn't pay attention. I would just be scrolling through social media or whatever, not paying attention. But I would recommend, if you're trying to also learn the trading, make sure you pay attention to the charts. Like just watch what price does, and you will begin to notice certain, like, right, price takes out a high. Okay, what I notice now is it likes to take out lows and highs before it goes in another direction. And you start to notice certain things in the market. And then all you have to do is just take trades based off of the higher probability of it going one way versus another way at certain times and areas in the market. I wrote it up now. I just shorted it. It's not a bad, I mean, hey, like I can see maybe why some people go short here, but like there's a gap right here. I understand in my mind, we can hold this right here. We need to hold this if they want to continue going up. So I don't really want to short anywhere in this area right here, just in my opinion, just to protect myself. That's not to say that I can't just freaking dump down. In order for me to get short, I would want to see it close below this gap. But even if it does close below this gap, now I'm thinking in my mind, yes, I can go short, but there's a low right there. Like even if I go short, it could very likely sweep this low and then continue going up. So my TP would technically, for highest probability short, as soon as it closes, for a short for this low. But look at my stop. My stop is massive and my short and my take profit is tiny. So am I willing to risk all that money to potentially make a tiny profit? Probably not worth it, even though it probably would work out. But there's that one trade that as soon as you get short and it doesn't work out, and it's going to eat away so much of your profits. And then that's what makes you go on tilt. $23,035. Yeah, I mean, 23,035. Oh, yeah. I mean, you're looking at this high right here, kind of. 035. Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna go there, it's gonna need to hold kind of this area right here. And you see, it's kind of trying to, every time it taps back into here, they're trying to hold it up. If they can't hold this area, we're getting for a bigger pullback until more buyers start stepping in. And it's interesting because it's like, it seems like, look, it seems like this is what price tries to do, right? Right here. You see kind of like, we're getting some buyers step in, but not enough buyers are stepping in to really push it up so far. So look at this. If buyers don't start stepping in, right, we start dumping down until we get to a level where a lot of buyers start stepping in and we push it up again. And it will continue going down until enough buyers start stepping in to push it back up. And it's just like constant like battle between more sellers, more buyers, more sellers. That's why at highs you get a lot more sellers, because people are taking profits. People are now it's 12 o'clock. Yeah, I mean, it's that's also why it's kind of like it's also at 12 o'clock usually price kind of like starts to die down. Anything after 11 really. Today was an exception. There was a pretty good move, but typically after 11 o'clock price kind of starts to die down. It's just not as volatile as it was in the morning. And a lot of people, yeah, aren't trading anymore. Yesterday I made between about 450 between 12:45 and 2. Yeah, I mean, that's not to say that there's not good trades to take. It's just a lot of times like you can get caught in some like, you know, sideways action. Just the price action isn't the best typically. And then so typically it's in sections, right? So the best price action is in the morning, and then the next best price action is the last like hour of market. Like the last hour before market closes is also some pretty good price action. That's when a lot of people trade too. But I only trade in the mornings. And we're getting a bull flag here too. Something to pay attention to. This is kind of like a bull flag that's forming. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off here soon. I gotta go. I haven't even eaten breakfast or anything, so I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we can get some good setups tomorrow to take. Still got 2 more days in the week, so still pretty good. So that's that. That's that. All right. I'll be back tomorrow. Y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Don't take any stupid trades. Be patient. Peace out. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes. I will see you guys back tomorrow. See ya.